I would like to thank one of my subscribers, Kevin Smith, for sending me this story that is coming out of Manhattan, where you have this man, and it's another person involved, and her name is Jennifer Gaffney, but I couldn't find a picture of her. And back in 2011, they were working on a case involving this billionaire by the name of Jeffrey Epstein, who was set to go to prison for a very long time for basically pimping out these women to all of his very rich and wealthy friends. However, that did not happen because apparently, when you have enough money, it's amazing what people will convince you to do. And in this case, I'm almost certain that that is what happened, because what should have been the highest level of being convicted of this crime got reduced to its lowest, basically almost to a misdemeanor. It went from what they say is a level 3 down to a level 1. And that Jeffrey Epstein pretty much only served minimal time and he didn't even serve that in prison. I'm gonna actually read the article and you'll find out where he ended up. Like, this entire story is just crazy. But it's not surprising when, like I said, money talks, bullshit walks. Like, this guy had two things working for him: the fact that he's obviously white and the fact that he's a billionaire. But I'm going to go ahead and read this article coming from the New York Post. It says, the Manhattan DA's office once went to bat for billionaire pervert Jeffrey Epstein after botching a review of his sex crimes and swallowing his lawyer's claim that there are no real victims here. Assistant DA Jennifer Gaffney, then Deputy Chief of Cyrus Vance Jr.'s Sex Crimes Unit, in January 2011, asked a Manhattan judge to downgrade Epstein's status in the New York Sex Offender Registry from the most dangerous level 3 to a least restrictive level 1. The judge was stunned. I have never seen the prosecutor's office do anything like this, Manhattan Supreme Court Justice Ruth Picoult told Gaffney. I have done many cases much less troubling than this one where prosecutors would never make a downward argument like this. Pressed by the judge, Gaffney admitted that she never spoke to the Florida U.S. attorney who handled a sprawling sex crime investigation into the financier. I don't think you did much of an investigation here. I am shocked. Vance's mishandling of Epstein's hearing has come under new scrutiny after a Miami Herald report last week revealed a secret non-prosecution agreement in Florida that buried evidence Epstein had allegedly pimped out 80 girls and young women to his rich and powerful pals. The DA's office insists Vance was not aware of the hearing until years later and had nothing to do with it. Our prosecutor made a mistake, Vance spokesman Danny Frost said of Gaffney. Gaffney, a prosecutor working in the Harvey Weinstein probe, how ironic, left the DA's office in September and she declined to comment. She probably got out of there before they figured her out. A DA insider said the office was unaware of Epstein's secret plea deal in Florida and never investigated his sex escapades in New York City. Some law enforcement officers don't believe Vance had no clue that his office had a sex offender case involving a Manhattan mogul with close ties to Democrats. This is very unusual, one said. There is no way Vance didn't know. The question is why and who asked for the favor. The FBI found Epstein recruited girls as young as 13, many runaways from Florida, New Mexico, the Caribbean, and New York, and paid them for nude massages that often led to sex. Some girls worked for a Manhattan modeling agency and lived in a nearby apartment owned by Epstein. But Miami U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta, now President Trump's labor secretary, sealed a 53-page federal indictment that could have sent Epstein to prison for life. Did y'all hear that? They sealed a 53-page document that could have gave this man life behind bars, but they practically just let him walk because, like I said, money talks, bullshit walks. Instead, Acosta let Epstein plead guilty to procuring a person under 18 for prostitution. Sentenced to 18 months, he served just 13, most of it in his Tony Palm Beach office. Like I said, this man did not go to jail. He didn't go to a country club. He served less than the amount of time he should have gotten, way less, in the confinement of one of his homes. Oh, to be white and privileged in this establishment. Because let me tell you something right now. This guy has done more bad than whatever they accused Bill Cosby of, and he got off scot-free. Scot-free isn't even the word to describe it. Epstein was required to register as a sex offender in New York because one of his many homes is in Manhattan. In the January 18, 2011 hearing, Gaffney argued the evidence didn't justify the harsher status. Before I go further, I don't know how I skipped out on this. Did this thing say Palm Beach? So you mean to tell me not only did he get under sentence, he got another reduced sentence, and he didn't go to jail. He spent time, 13 months in his Palm Beach office that was not even in the area of where the crime happened. That was in a whole, he's able to serve out his time in a whole nother state. The privilege just got even more real. There is only an indictment for one victim, she said. If an offender is not indicted for an offense, it is strong evidence that the offense did not occur. Picoult rejected Gaffney's argument and gave Epstein the highest sex offender status, which is level 3. When Epstein appealed, Vance's office admitted it had misread the law. The appellate court upheld Picoult, saying Epstein committed multiple offenses against a series of underage girls and that the victim in his indictment was the only one of my defendants of many victims. So there you go. This is how a lot of them get off. Like, they had enough evidence to hang this man, technically speaking. Figuratively speaking, I should say. But because he was a billionaire and he probably slid them some money, they completely disregarded it. Like, this should be enough to have all of them indicted and thrown in jail. Because they completely rejected that oath that they took to uphold the law, and they went way around it because this man had a lot of money. But like I said, he's white at the same time. Bill Cosby, on the other hand, like I said, he was just found guilty of hearsay. And he has money too. He may not be billionaire status, but he's definitely hundreds of millions of dollars. Put it that way, his net worth is up there. And they would have not done that for him. And they have proof that this guy did it. Like, they have actual documentation proving that this guy did what he did. And you want to know what's even more interesting? This guy right here, Cyrus Vance Jr., is now the district attorney for the state of New York. And he has ties to the Harvey Weinstein case. Now, when I was typing his name in and it came up, he's now supposedly, I guess, on the right side of things because he's trying to deal with them trying to reject or dismiss his crimes. But a snake is a snake. That's all I have to say. And this guy is as sneaky as they come. You let that man, and you and that other chick and whoever else y'all work with, let this man walk because he was a billionaire. And like I said, he didn't serve time in jail. He spent it at his home, at one of his homes, for 13 months. That must have been torture on him. And I'm saying that with the utmost sarcasm. But this happens more often than people think or would like to believe. Especially when it comes to a white person who has a lot of privilege. And when I mean that, I'm talking about on the financial side. I mean, look at what happened with Brock Turner. He raped that girl behind that dumpster and she was intoxicated, blood alcohol levels out the ass, and he only got 3 months in jail. And the judge, Aaron Persky, who's no longer the judge, said him and his dad, they have to protect his future and all that other crap. Because all of them went to the same school, which I think was Stanford University. I think that's what it was. It was one of them Ivy League schools. Amazing. But y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links will be in the description. I'll talk to you in the next one.